All right, we are live. I've done $40 million through webinars, not client webinars, webinars where I sold my own offer. And today I'm taking any and all questions. Nothing is off limits. How I write them, how I structure them, how I film them. Go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. We're live, right? Okay, awesome. All right. And then we also got some people calling in. Carla, you can go ahead and turn on Ben, and I'd be happy to answer his question.
Hey, what's
Ben,
up,
are you
man?
there? What's up, brother? Okay, give me the webinar question.
The webinar question. Is it okay if it's a traffic to webinar question, or is it webinar performance?
Any question.
Any
And
question.
also,
Cool.
can we please, as I said before, can we just allow to talk, Carla? I want my camera on the whole time. Thank you.
Cool. So have you noticed a difference in terms of traffic sources if you do like cold ads on like the images or the videos? Which ones perform better for webinar
Yeah,
specifically?
yeah. So you're going to hear a lot of people say that image ads perform better for a variety of offers. And in some cases, that's true, right? However, with webinars, it's a little bit different, okay? Because remember, if you have people who know who you are, they've consumed some of your content, come to a webinar, they're going to convert better than someone that hasn't. This is why I always say, whenever you have somebody register for a webinar, send them emails with your best YouTube videos. Give them homework and literally be like, watch these videos before the webinar, right?
Right.
And that always helps. So the same concept applies to ads. So for instance, if you were to, let's just use an example here. Let's say we had an ad, okay? And this is our ad, all right? Now we obviously, if we're just doing cold, let's give me the overhead camera, please. If we're going from an ad, and let's just say this is the landing page. I'll put LP for the landing page, okay? And so obviously then we take them to the actual Webby. So if in a perfect world, we just ran an ad, they saw a landing page and they registered, well, we would all be rich, right? But in fact, we've got to warm people up a little bit more. So when you run an ad, if you have other ads that are, for instance, educational, that warm them up, these are going to be video ads. Because look, they're getting on, switch back, they're getting on a video educational experience, okay? So there's an old rule in direct response marketing, especially in e-commerce, where if you want to figure out what the upsell should be, you just sell them more of what they already bought. So if they bought a bottle of weight loss pills, the bump or the upsell would be more weight loss pills, right? So you're inviting them on a webinar where they're having a video experience. So video, you know, if somebody says, oh, well, images work better. Well, yeah, but look at the context, okay? Because they're getting on a video. So we want to hit them with multiple videos. So let's just say that these videos here are going over objections. They're building belief in the actual offer, okay? And these all go to the landing page, right? And now, if you want to, you can do what I call my gold pan method, where you film multiple education videos, right? These are all videos that are just basically tips and tricks, and we call these layer 1 videos. Then you make a bunch of layer 2 videos. These videos are what I call deep dive videos. These are not tips and tricks. They're more like philosophical, and they go more into depth on your subject matter. And then you have layer 3 videos, and these are direct selling videos, okay? So tips, deep, sell, okay? Now, why do we do it this way? If we run a video view campaign to layer 1, and we go, okay, let's make a custom audience of anybody that watched at least 10 seconds of this. Now they go to the layer 2 videos. And if Of those videos, people watch 50%. Now we know, and this is why I call it the gold pan strategy, is because if you take a pan of gold and you put a bunch of dirt in it with gold and you sift it, what's going to happen? All the dirt is going to go through the pan and you're going to be left with the gold. Well, what we're doing in this strategy is we're getting rid of all the people who are basically dirt. Like they're not interested. Like that's what we're doing. We're getting rid of the crap. Okay. Cause like how many times have you got people from cold ads and you're like, oh, they don't even know what this is about.
Yeah.
And they're not qualified. Yeah. They're dirt. Okay. So we need to get rid of the dirt. Okay. So going back to this, if we have a bunch of videos on our topic and somebody watches 10 seconds or more of these, that's basically them raising their hand and saying, oh, hey, I'm interested in this. So now we hit them with deep dive videos. And now if they watch at least 50% of these, well, now we know they're really interested. And now we can send them to the layer 3 videos. This is a great option for beginners because it allows you to not just build trust, because all of these are trust building videos, right? They're all, it's like mini webinars. And I used to have this thing called the whiteboard webinar challenge where I got people to basically make a bunch of 5-minute webinars that all led to their main webinar. And what this does is it just builds trust. It builds a ton of trust. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you hit the selling videos, now the only people seeing these are people that are really interested. And so once they get through all this, by the time they get on your webinar, well, now that you're going to have a higher show up rate, you're going to have better conversions because like they've seen so much content. It's like them watching 10, 15 mini webinars before they watch your main webinar. Okay. And so the reason this, so like, and it's the same reason why you want to send them your best YouTube videos. You want to send them content. I used to make people register for a webinar and then I'd hit them with all kinds of content. Like every single email they got was mini versions of my webinar. So by the time they got on the webinar, they were just like super, super warm. Okay. So for that reason, I believe that video ads are better, even if your cost per registration or cost per click or whatever is a little bit higher, because you're just going to get a much warmer prospect on the webinar than if you strictly ran image ads. And you can still run image ads. They can be like some of the direct selling videos can be replaced with, you know, like an image, because at that point, you're just asking them to register. This is where they got the value and where they got one.
Makes sense. Okay. But just to be clear, this what was it called? Gold pan strategy. That is for people. Gold pan. That is after they're registered, so that the people that already registered only see that, or is that like for all the cold traffic too?
Okay, so right here, these people right here that watch these videos, they're not even getting hit with the call to action to register for the webinar. These are like just video view campaigns. Okay.
Okay, got it. Okay.
These people get hit with it. Now, what you can do though, is you can give away a freebie in these videos. So if I say blah, 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 by the way, do you want this free resource? Comment this word, you create a ManyChat campaign. And now, you're getting video views, but then when they comment, they get hit with a lead magnet, they get on your list. And now, of course, you can promote
super smart
the webinar.
So they get it from all sides, basically. Email, webinar.
You just want to hit them from left, right, up, down, inside out, everything.
It's like buy, opt out, or die, right?
Yes. Does that answer your question?
A lot. Thank you very much, man.
No worries, brother. No worries. Okay, I'm going to take some from the chat. So go ahead if you've already on the stream. And by the way, this is our first Q&A stream, so bear with us. But on the screen, I can only see like the latest question. So if you've asked a question and I haven't answered it, just pop it in again in the live stream. I see one question, but it's cut off. Andy here says he's hosting his first webinar at 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, he's in Dubai like me. That's cool. Well, good luck on your webinar. Go ahead and give me other questions. I'm happy to answer. Okay, so at the end of the webinar, and this comes from, I think, David, at the end of the webinar, what are you seeing work best in 2026? Oh, I love this question. A direct sale for offers between $697 to $3,000, or book a call with a 5K plus offer. Yeah, so this is a great question. Basically, the question is like, what price point and method of sale is working the best? The truth is that what's more important is the actual offer, because I've seen people with a $500 direct to order page offer smash. I've seen them smash with book a call to 5K. I've seen them smash with message me on Instagram, right? The other thing is I have a client who sells a $12,000 offer, direct to order page from a webinar, direct to order page, but he has a no-brainer offer. So actually, I'll teach you guys this. So you want to look at your offer on a scale, okay? So let's say on this side of the scale is easy, and on this side of the scale is hard, all right? What I mean by easy is it's easy to get people results. So if you sell marriage coaching, that's going to be much further on the hard side of the scale. If you sell like a auto trading bot where you just press a button and it makes you money, that's going to be way over here on the easy side of the scale. And so the reason why, and price does matter, but what matters more is the easy or hard scale. Because my client who goes right to 12K on an order page, no calls, no nothing, he's firmly, like his offer is literally, you can't get any easy, it's push button, make money. It is like literally no brainer. But I have another client who sells an offer that is marriage coaching, and he has to do book a call. Now, why is that? Because most people, when they are considering buying your offer, there's 4 things that they consider. Number 1, do they trust you? Okay. Do they, and who is it? The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. He talks about this. He says people either don't trust you, they don't trust your company, or they don't trust your product. But there's a 4th one, and that is they don't trust themselves. The amount of people that have not just trusted me, but said that like I've had people literally like invite me to their homes and stuff. Like, it's not a matter of trust for me or for you. It's a matter of trust for themselves. So if they watch a presentation and they have no doubt in their mind that they can actually do it, well, then you can just go right to order page. I don't care what the price point is. I mean, maybe if it's like 50 grand or something, but if it's harder, you're going to need to go to a call. Why? Because they need to know, hey, can I make this work? Can I actually save my marriage? Can I actually use this thing? Can I, you know what I'm saying? So it's less about the price point, and it's much, much more about how hard or easy they perceive getting results, even if they buy your offer. That's where it goes more to the hard or not the call or the order page. But if you want the general rule, it's anything over 3K, go to a call. That's the, or at least a chat conversation. Now, when you switch to a paid webinar, that amount goes up. Now you can sell direct order page for 5K because you're there. It's a paid webinar. Okay. That's why I love paid webinars. And by the way, speaking of paid webinars, I am doing a live $1 million webinar workshop. You can check the link in description and register for it. It is a paid training. It will be live, and I'll be answering questions. I'll be going through the 5 structural failures and how I was able to write 2 8-figure webinars and a handful of 7-figure webinars. And it'll be a live advanced training. Okay. Oh, this is a great one. How do you give away great content in the videos, but keep the ahas for the webinar? This is a fantastic question. Thank you, Mark, I believe. So the golden rule, how many of you guys heard that the more you teach, and look at the next question. from Double Academy? How do you transition from teaching to presenting an offer? You shouldn't teach on your webinars. That's the point. You should not teach on your webinars, okay? You should not teach how to or how to do things. The more you teach, the less you will convert. People do not buy from people they learn from. They buy from people they agree with. All right, so I'll give you an example. I did 0 teaching on my webinar that did 9.2 million. I was selling a online course for $997, straight to order page. Need oil on that. Straight to order page. Now, in the webinar, I use what I call the content matrix. All right. So the content matrix is very simple. If you imagine communicating something to someone or teaching something to someone, there's only 4 ways you can teach something. You can teach what to do. You can teach why they're doing it. You can teach when to do it. And then, of course, there's the thing you should never do, which is teach how. Now, what does that mean? Okay. And by the way, this is where you guys are going to screw up. You're going to massively screw up if you teach on your webinar. You're going to massively screw up. If you teach them what to do, why they're doing it, and when to do it, there's what's called a gap. The gap is where your offer lives. So let me give you an example. This is an example I really like to use. If you were a tax attorney and you said, come to this webinar where I'm going to show you how you can legally save taxes by starting a foundation. Okay, so you come to the webinar and I spend an entire hour showing you what type of foundation will legally allow you to eliminate taxes. I show you why it's legal, why it works, and why tons of people are using it to save money on taxes. And I show you when is most appropriate based on how many taxes you're paying, but I never show you how to set it up. What's the gap that happens? Oh, I know what type of foundation, I know why it works, and I know when it's appropriate. But how do I actually set it up? This is a gap that is created automatically in the user, the viewer's mind. And so towards your offer, towards your pitch, you're going to be creating a scenario, main camera, please, creating a scenario where they're naturally going to say, well, how do I do that? At that exact point is when you're going to say, hey, have you guys got value out of this? Yes, you have. Would you mind if I share how we can help you do this? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. How do I do it? And so a good webinar is choreographed. Like, I know what you're going to say in your head at what time. And I have scripted everything that I am saying to match up with that timeline. That is a webinar. Okay. So I know at a certain point, you're going to have an objection because I created the objection on purpose. I know when you're going to ask how you can get help with it because I created that gap on purpose. Do you guys get this? Like, let me know in the chat if you get this. Okay. Okay. So I'll give you so there's a question. Can you give an example of a webinar for an industry like trading, investing, where you wouldn't be teaching how? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So there was a, oh man, I actually have it on my slides for our $1 million webinar workshop. It was the Stansbury, investment newsletter, I believe it was, but I'll give you a different example. So for instance, just, you guys know who Sam Ovens is? Like, he did 20 million with a $2,000 offer. So in that 3-hour webinar, he showed you what consulting was, what the model is. He gave you an overview of the model. Okay. That's what he showed you, why it works and why it's better than other business models, why it's higher margin, et cetera. And he showed you when. He was talking about how, like, the industry is blowing up, et cetera, but he never showed you how to develop a coaching program, how to get clients, none of that. Okay. Another example, and by the way, webinars, I'm going to answer that question in a second. So the webinar that did 9.2 million for me, I showed you what to do. Become a modern day Don Draper. I showed you why, because you can easily get clients. You can easily run ads for them, and you don't have to own your own product. And I showed like why it was like a better model than others. And then when, I showed when right now, because I literally on the webinar told people, I said, listen, go make a post and say, hey, I'm running ads for trial clients. I'll run ads for free for a month if you give me a testimonial, if you get results. Everybody made that post. I call it the curious student. Russell just used it, and on his one comic club challenge, he had his highest converting challenge ever. He sent me a thank you text for the close. But the point is that I showed them that like there's people out there that want to buy their services now if they just knew how to deliver the service. So I actually engineered the when, and then the how was like, basically my transition was, look, I've showed you what kind of business this is and how profitable it is. I showed you why it's much easier than anything else. And I showed you that you can actually get clients right now. You guys have all got responded to. You made a post on the internet, and before this training was even over, people are reaching out to you to take you up on your offer. But the question is, how do you actually manage this business? How do you run ads? Well, I have an offer where we can actually show you exactly how to do the ads, exactly how to do this. We'll give you systems, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then boom, $9.2 million, one script. And that leads me to my next thing is, guys, the script is the business. If you look at the biggest businesses, like what is OxyClean? It's not a laundry company. It's an infomercial company, because when it was a laundry detergent company, it did 10 million a year. When it was a script company, meaning infomercial, it did 100 million a year. Tony Robbins, what's the whole Tony Robbins? It's the script. It's the script. He does the same script at all of his events that he's done for 30 years. The script is the business, okay? I'll answer that next question. This is our first live stream. Can we get some camera angles switching around? Can we do some shit here? We have all these fancy cameras, all these lights, and I've been on one camera angle the whole time. There we go. Look at that. All right, awesome. What's up? This one? Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, another question. There is always a dichotomy of how much to give away versus how much to hold back. No, this will keep you broke. This will keep you broke, this belief, okay? It's not about that. It's not about how much you give. It's about what you give. You can talk for 5 hours about what to do, why you're doing it, when to do it, and never cover how. You can give as much away as you want. But the second you start giving away the how, it's going to kill your conversions. Why? Because here's why. If you start teaching how to do things on your webinar, guess what people are going to do? Besides just say, oh, well, he already taught me how. They're going to go, oh, he taught me how. I need to go try it first. They're going to go try it because they haven't bought your offer and they haven't actually got the assistance and the resources and the hand-holding that they need. They go try it without you. And what happens? It doesn't work because they just learned how to do it on a freaking 45-minute webinar. They didn't have any guidance. And now they went and did it. It didn't work. Now they think your method doesn't work. Now they think that what you do doesn't work. Like think about that. You're not engineering belief. You're creating disbelief. Like the idea that you should teach on your webinar, I promise you guys, I promise you, it doesn't feel right. Like you're like, oh, I got to teach. But every time I have stripped out all the teaching, my conversion rates have just gone through the roof. And every time I've tried to over deliver, they've bombed. They've just bombed. What about giving away the how on other problems they have that aren't solved by your offer? Okay, so this is an advanced technique that I recommend most of you stay away from because you'll easily screw it up. But you can teach a little bit of how, but you have to really be careful. If you solve a problem that creates a need for the next problem, you're good. If you, like basically you got to teach them something they can't use that just inspires them. So I'll give you an example, right? I taught how to install the Facebook pixel on one of my little like low ticket offers. That solved the entire nut and bolt problem, the little problem of, I can't get my Facebook pixel. And so, which by the way, back then was actually a hard thing to do. People didn't understand it. And so that created the need and the desire for the next thing. How do I run ads? So you wouldn't want to teach something that actually covers the main goal. You'd want to teach something that gets them over a potential hump that makes them really want the main goal. And that's the thing. You, guys, look, low ticket offers are paid ways to handle objections. Write that down. Low ticket offers are paid ways to handle objections. That's what it's all a low ticket offer. Unless you're only selling low ticket, you have no back end, then fine, sell whatever you want. But if you have a back end, and you should be using low ticket offers to create customers to sell an Ascent. And those low ticket offers should be overcoming objections. Well, I'm not like a tech person, so I can't buy the main offer. Okay, fine. $47 offer. How, like I one time I had a offer called the No Funnel Guide. We sold like $100,000 worth of this $47 book because I had a ton of people who were like, oh, I can't buy this other thing because I'm not good at tech. And I'm like, you don't need to be good at tech. You can actually get your first client with no funnel. So I made the No Funnel Guide. You see what I'm saying? And by the way, whether you teach like low to, if it's something's $47 versus free, I don't really see a difference. You know what I mean? Like I don't see a huge difference. To me, that's basically free. Like it's $50, bro. You spend more than that at Starbucks if you get some of their shitty scones. So like, it's basically free. Could I'm in framing. So this comes from Danny. Oh wait, let me do the question above. Pitbull, the rapper. Dan, I'm a home insurance agent who gets business from realtors and lenders who have people buying homes. What angles, ideas would you use in ads? Well, are you running them to a webinar? Because the topic for this stream today is webinars. I might cover that on a different one, but believe it or not, some of the best tactics you can use in your industry is webinars. It's literally webinars because you can educate realtors to be referral partners for you. You can educate, like you could do a little webinar on how to get how to solve some problem with like life insurance, car insurance, whatever, how to legally and ethically lower your car insurance rates. And then they get on and then blah, 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 and then boom, you're the agent, right? Like webinars are fantastic. Like everybody thinks webinars are for, you know, coaches and things like that. Guys, I know a guy who teaches webinars to real estate agents. Real estate agents. They run webinars to, and they get people on webinars in their local community. They educate them on home buying, and then they get tons of sales, and they smash it. They smash it. Danny says, I'm in framing. Could I teach how to read a soil test so they know what fertilizer products they'll need, which I sell? So what I would do, farming, not framing, farming. The text is very small in the teleprompter. Okay, so could I teach how to read a soil test so they know what type of fertilizer? So if you sell the fertilizer products in bulk or your average order value is like very high, and there's some sort of education needed, then I would say yes. But if it's just like e-commerce, like they're just buying a bag or two, I would take the same principles I'm teaching here and just do them on a YouTube video. Because there's not a big difference between a YouTube video and a webinar. All a webinar is a really good script done on Zoom. But you could also do that on YouTube. You could also do that on a local talk on stage. Like when I do a stage talk, it's very similar to what I do on a webinar. The same elements apply, just there's certain things you may not say, like, you know, you wouldn't say, here's who this is for, blah, 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 blah. Because like, people are already at that event. They already paid to be there. So it's clear that it's for them. They paid tickets to see you on stage. So There's little things you would adjust, but the core elements are the same. LTV is 7 figures, and average order could be low 5 to 6 figures. Okay, well then, yeah, you might want to do a webinar. I guess I would have to know, what problem are you helping them solve by selling them fertilizer? Are these home builders or farmers? These are farm owners, I imagine it is, because there's got to be some sort of problem your fertilizer solves. So like, let's say it's like it makes your crops grow faster. You know, you could do a webinar on how to yield, free masterclass, how to increase your crop yield by 20%. And then you educate them, and then you sell them the fertilizer. That would smoke. That would smoke. That would smoke. Hey, Dan, is it better to start with a webinar that makes an offer to a paid 5-day challenge, or a webinar to a high-ticket group program? Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're just getting started, what I would say is, here's your Webby, right? You got your, let's just make this nice little collection of all these ads that you've made, which goes to your Webby. That goes to a call, which goes to the money. Now, this is a very, very good beginner way to do it. But a pro way to do it would be, you have your ads, okay? And that goes to a free webinar, all right? So free webinar, which then sells a $297 ticket to a challenge, we'll just say paid presentation. Okay. Now, you could do $97 because that's like the normal cost of 47 to 97 is what most people charge for like challenges. However, if you're on a 1-hour webinar, bro, just charge $300. Why? Because like the conversion rate between 97 and 300 on a hour webinar is going to be like it's going to be like no different. So you're just costing yourself money by only charging $97. Just charge $300. And at that point, you can get more of your ad spend back. So if you were to spend, say, let's just do the numbers here, right? If you were to spend, say, $10,000, okay? Let's just do the numbers here, $10,000. So you spend $10,000 in ads. Now, if we grab our trusty calculator here, and let's just assume that you pay $10 a lead. So $10,000 divided by $10, so 1,000. So that gives you 1,000 people on your webinar. Okay. Now, let's assume that of that 1,000, you get a show rate of, I don't know, let's say 40%. So let's say you get 400 attendees. You get 400 attendees, okay? So now, of those 400 attendees, on a $300 offer, you're probably, if you have a really good webinar script, $300 offer, I would say you should convert at, I would say probably 15%. So if we take, I mean, it could be more. I've converted on cheap stuff. I've converted like 40%, but I'm just doing the numbers. I mean, very, very conservative. So let's say 400 times. And by the way, this number will be higher because you'll be sending the replay. So really, let's just change this to, I really do want to be realistic. Let's change it to 6 because you're going to have people that watch the replay for sure. Sometimes double, but let's just say 6. So 600 times 0.15. So that's 90 people. So now you have 90 people on the actual challenge. Okay. Now let's just say that you have let's say you're selling a $15,000 offer. Okay. So 90 people, if we were to convert at, say, even just 10%, which is kind of shitty, but let's just say we converted at 10%. You should convert higher than that. Well, that's 9 customers times 15,000 equals 135,000. Okay. Now, if we add 600, sorry, if we add the 90, okay, so 90 times 297 equals 26,730. So in the end, if we add 26,730, and I'm being conservative, this is if you're not that good at this stuff. This is if you're just like kind of okay. 161, so 161,730 on a $10,000 in ads. Now, let's cut that in half. Let's say I'm being ridiculous. If we cut that in half, that's now 80,000, okay? So 80,000 minus 10,000, you're still profiting 70,865. Like this is a bad scenario. Now, of course, if you did everything wrong, then maybe it could be lower, but man, you'd have to really suck. Okay. You'd have to really, really suck. But you see the numbers, right? Like, again, even if we cut it in half, you're talking about a 7x return or a 14x return if you're average. The return, I mean, I've done even more. I've done more than that. I've done like a 30x return, but I'm also pretty damn good at it. So you can see how the numbers can work on that. And you might say, well, Dan, why don't I do that? Well, it's a lot more work. You got to come up with an hour webinar. You got to come up with multiple days of content. So if you have the ability to do that, or you have guidance for doing that, then yeah, you could do it. This is why we have a whole mastermind, it's called Epic Pitch Mastermind. The whole mastermind is focused on webinars, paid challenges, paid workshops. Why? Because it's like the best method of scale. I mean, you see, even if you suck, the math just works in your favor. It just works so well. So I hope that answers your question. What about joint webinars to your niche where you can't promote your main offer? The upside is that I get exposure to someone's audience list. I mean, I would not do a webinar unless I was selling something. I mean, 30% of the webinar is the close. If you're talking about lead gen, well, first of all, if you're doing a joint webinar to someone's list, you should be pitching and you should be splitting the money with them. If they don't know that, then it's probably not a good list. Like, it's just not a good list. Like, anybody with a decent list already knows that that's how things work. But you could do an interview and you could lead gen to your webinar and then do your webinar. That's fine. But an actual like scripted webinar, no, I wouldn't do that. I would just do an interview and then I would lead gen to the webinar. I'm creating Janessa. I'm creating a guide to help authors turn their stories into fan favorite franchises. I am using myself as a testimonial and I have a wait list. How and when can I promote a pre-sale webinar? So the guide is to help authors turn their stories into fan favorite franchises. So the thing about webinars is the best webinars make an offer that really has a life-changing result. So the question I would have is, have you done this? Like, have you helped these multiple offers do this? Is there a return somewhere? Will they actually make money? Or is it an emotional return where they don't care about making money? They just really want, they want author fandom, you know? If the offer is not juicy and people can't justify the investment, either logically, emotionally, or financially, it's going to be a hard sell. So I would have to know more about like what the return is, how much you intend to charge, stuff like that. And then I could give you a better answer. By the way, if some of you guys are wanting to go a little bit deeper, just come to my $1 Million Webinar Workshop. It is a paid workshop. Link is in the description, but I will be doing an extensive Q&A on that workshop. where I'll be bringing people on, stuff like that. And so, you know, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to interact a little bit more. Can you guys see that on the screen? It looks like it's cut off. Is that cut off? No, is that just me? Okay, cool. I'm considering shifting to, I lost the comment. Okay, so Mojo Ministry says, if you only have $500 to test ad spend, where would you do it for each niche? I would not, if I only had $500 to test ads, I just wouldn't run ads. I wouldn't run it because like, do you actually only have 500 bucks, or do you just not want to spend more than 500? Actually, you know what? No, I'll tell you what I would do. I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I would run a recon campaign. Okay. Do you guys know what a recon campaign is? So in the military, there's this thing called reconnaissance. And basically, let's say there's a mission and they want to send people in to do combat. Before that mission, they send special forces in to do a reconnaissance mission where they gather intelligence, they spy, and they figure stuff out so they can make a battle plan, and then they go in with the main forces and actually do combat. And in a reconnaissance mission, there's no combat. So there's this tactic called reconnaissance ads, or what I like to call recon ads. Now, let me explain how this works. Let's just say for a moment that you had an idea for an offer or a webinar or whatever, and you did not know if it was going to work. Well, here's what you can do. You can literally, let's just say you have 4 ideas, okay? So you could do ad 2, webinar idea 1, ad 2, webinar idea 2, ad 2, webinar idea 3, and ad 2, webinar idea 4. Let's say each one of these webinars or landing pages were completely different, and they had different concepts, different ideas, not like split test in the headline, but just totally different ideas. Okay. Maybe completely separate offers. Well, now what you can do is, let's say you spend $100 on each one. So you're in for $400. Okay. You're in for $400. And now you get really cheap leads on, say, webinar 3, but the rest, they're expensive. The ads don't work that good, etc. And you don't take them to an actual webinar registration page. You take them to a waiting list. Like, hey, we're doing this upcoming webinar on this. Join the wait list, and we'll let you know when this webinar is going to go live. Well, now, even if you don't run webinar 1, 2, and 4, because you found that it's not working with ads, you found webinar 3 is working with ads. So now you just paid $400 to know that this is the best offer that you can run. This is the best thing. Instead of spending thousands of dollars wasting it on webinar 1 or 2, you figured out which offer is really going to smash. Now you can focus on this. That's what I would do, because I'll be honest with you, $500 is not enough to make any meaningful change in your business. You could absolutely run ads. Like, I remember when I went through this right here, if you did this strategy and then instead of taking them to a webinar, you just say, hey, message me, and you have a conversation with them and you sell them over DM. Well, then that absolutely can work for $500. But I would literally take at least $250 of that, and I would just test an offer to see I would test like 4 or 5 offers, see which one really works. And then I would spend the rest on that offer, because you're saving so much money knowing which offers don't work. Darius says, how much is your Epic Pitch Mastermind? How do we join? The Epic Pitch Mastermind is $25,000 for the year. Right now, it's pretty full. Like, every once in a while, we get a spot or 2 that opens up. We have a beginner program that we're about to launch, which we're going to have way more people in. But you can always go to get client. Actually, there should be a link. Is there? There's not a link, I think. Yeah. So just go to getclients.com. There's an application, and it's like a few questions. Fill it out. it'll go to one of my guys. They'll reach out to you. And if we have a spot, we can do it. But I keep that mastermind a bit small, and it's really only for people who know and just want to jam on webinars and challenges and want my help with them. It's not really for beginners. But we do have a beginner program coming out. So I can't read the names. Do you help with offer creation? I'm not sure what to offer in the age of AI, thinking of learning how to create workflows and AI agents. I'm a recruiter, but I don't want to do it for the offer. Yeah, we do help with offer creation. That's what our new program is. Our new program is so it's offers, marketing for the offer, sales for the offer, and then the fourth one is scaling, and that's when you ascend to the Epic Pitch Mastermind, because scaling to me is webinars and paid webinars. I wouldn't scale any other way. For businesses owners with teams of 20 or more, what are your thoughts on webinar versus LinkedIn DMs? I mean, for me, man, look, I think LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, I think when you're a beginner, like let's say you're a coach, right? And you're a total beginner. I think messenger ads are the best. I think, like, this is my honest opinion after 13 years in the business and $40 million in sales. A beginner should just run some ads to get inbound messages and close people over DM on one-on-one coaching. Why? Because A, one-on-one coaching is the easiest thing to sell. B, when you sell one-on-one coaching, you learn so much about your customers after maybe 5 to 10 clients that now you can create group programs. You know exactly what to do for the group program or the done for you service or the event, because you had those one-on-one conversations, and you can sell them right in the DM. Once you've maybe got 10 clients from that, you made some money and you want to scale, then I would move to webinars. I don't like scaling teams. Like let me put it this way. I know there's a lot of people out there that scale big with sales teams. Totally get it. But these are people who have a very, very just amazing talent for managing people. I'm going to be honest with you. Can I get a little vulnerable with you guys and be real with you? And by the way, if I haven't answered your question, I'll ask. Okay, apply. Awesome, brother. Apply. Ben will talk to you, and we'll see. To be honest with you, if I think you're dope and I think I'd have fun working with you, we squeeze you in. I'm very picky in that mastermind. We have, like, it's pretty much full. I don't need more customers. I like to work with people I like to work with. You know, I like to share this stuff and nerd out and just make amazing selling presentations. Okay, so here's the reality, right? You know, I had this dude message me the other day, and he said, Dan, I remember you when I used to own this small bar and restaurant in Spring Hill, Florida. And he's like, Dan, I remember when you used to own that restaurant. I've seen how far you've come and blah, blah, blah. And he was like talking to me like I was like Elon Musk or something, you know? And he's like, do you have any like advice for operating a business, recruiting? And I'm like, listen, bro, I would love to tell you that I'm this amazing entrepreneur, that I have all these skills. But the truth is I lack more skills than I possess. I am terrible at managing people. Absolutely terrible. I'm the type of person where I have a lot of problems unless somebody just does their job correctly the whole time. I mean, I'm being real. Like, there are certain people, like I have a few friends, and Ahmed, who's on my team, he's very good at it. They know how to motivate people and this is like employee-based leadership. They know how to talk to people who are making mistakes and motivate them to do it correctly, get them organized, set proper expectations. And I do know these principles, but it's just not like, I never liked doing it, and I honestly suck at it. I'm just being real with you. And so I learned also that most people also suck at it. The average, if I talk to 10 online entrepreneurs, 9 of them will bitch and moan and complain about how stupid their staff is. I'm being real with you. They will literally just freak out and be like, I'm always yelling at my staff. Only one will be like, oh yeah, everything's smooth. Why? Because managing, it's not the employee's fault, right? It's because there are people that own companies that are hyper successful managing a team of like 100 people, but these are very rare people. Like that's a skill, man. That is like a super skill. I found that was not a skill I was very good at. Call me too emotional to be able to manage people. I'm not good at it. However, I realized that I could replace the need to be good at it with a 45-minute script. Like, bro, you got to understand, I delivered pizza and then I wrote a 45-minute script. I said it and I made $9.2 million. And I had like 3 people on my team. And they were mostly just like an assistant to, actually the first year we did 2.9 million. I had 1 employee. That was just an assistant. And all she did was like book doctor's appointments and pay my bills and stuff, only because I didn't want to do it. I didn't have any actual employees. First year, 2.9 million with that webinar. And I have just never been the type of guy that wants a big company, wants to manage people. I just want to talk and yap and get paid a lot of money and help people. That's it. And so I've just used webinars to live and work the way I want to, because how many people do we have? Like not many, right? 6, 7. Like, bro, we did a launch last December. We did 800 grand in one webinar, paid webinar, but we did 800 grand. I've done 1,034,000 in a day with a paid webinar, paid presentation. Most I ever made in a day, 1,034,000. Few people on my team. I suck at leading a team. I'd rather just write a script that alleviates the need to master that skill. You know, like get on, talk on Zoom, go hang out with my wife. We're done. So I truly believe that the script is the business. That's what I believe. And a lot of people that I know that here's what I'll tell you. Most people I know that have a huge team, they make a lot of money, but a very little profit. The people I know who just do webinars and they have a couple people that work for them, their profit is insane. It's insane. So I don't even remember what the original question was, but basically to summarize, I don't know. I just run webinars and I make millions of dollars and I don't have to deal with being this amazing team leader. That's how I like it. I'm just being real with you. Okay. Okay. I can only see 3 comments at a time. So if you have another question, I'm so sorry. Pop it back in again for me. How are we doing on time? Oh, about an hour. And don't forget, guys, this video is brought to you by and sponsored by me. Come to my $1 million webinar workshop. Link is in the description. I'd love to have you. It's not that expensive. It's in the next, it's coming. What day is it? I don't remember. 16th? Whatever. Click the link and it'll tell you what day it is. Okay. Okay. So I help authors craft narratives, characters, and worlds that drive repeat sales, merch sequels, and fan loyalty. That's an amazing offer. And that would be a great webinar. That would be great. As long as you actually can do it and you have some client results and stuff, I think that would be great. That would be a really good one. I'm running a webinar for my Islamic kids program and parent trainings, 197. Okay. Oh, can you paste that again? Sorry. All right, brother, can you take your mouse and maybe we can scroll? Yeah. Okay. Go down a little bit with the mouse. This monitor situation. Go down with the mouse a bit. Not the scroll bar, the mouse. Bring the mouse down. Okay. Now scroll up. Yeah. Now scroll up. I need to just get this on my phone. Okay. Good. I'm running a webinar for my Islamic kids program and parenting training, $197. I'm unsure whether to go high or low ticket, as low ticket is too common. How real, bro? You're in the Islamic market. It's pretty low ticket, bro. Like, I'm just being real with you. That's a market that you get a lot of volume and you get a lot of that's a low ticket offer if I've ever seen one. Islamic kids program, 100%. low ticket. Now, if it was like, I'm going to help you get your kid into a good college, then we could go high ticket. Okay. But if it's Western Muslim, you'll probably have a better time, like easier time with high ticket. If it's Gulf Muslim, they're not, it's hard to sell high ticket to them. They're just not used to that shit. So I would probably at least start off low ticket, and just what you want to look at is the cash per attendee. Who cares what you charge? What you charge does not matter. What you want to look at is cash collected per attendee. If you're collecting $150 per attendee, $200 per attendee, I don't care if you charge $7 or $70,000. That's amazing. So it's more about cash per attendee and less about what you actually charge. It's just that most of the time, charging more gets you a higher cash per attendee, but in some cases it doesn't. I'm selling a structured healing program, hypnosis session for women. I post a lot on YouTube. What kind of webinar should I do to convert more? Okay, so I'm gonna teach you something. I actually like doing these live streams. Like, this is like unlimited content. Holy shit. Okay, so if you sell a structured healing program, hypnosis for women, what we need to find out is, what does that structured hypnosis thing actually do for them? What is the problem? So go ahead and answer that. When will the beginners program be available? We're actually finalizing it this week. It's a fraction of the cost of our mastermind. We can sell it to you right now. You just won't have access until you won't have access until the basically 7 days. It'll be ready in 7 days. So you can apply on our website, have a chat with Ben, and by the time that's all done, you'll be good. My offer is helping online creators identify their mental blocks so they can make a clear decision and take action consistently. What are your thoughts about my offer? Okay, guys, so this is the same problem I heard with the previous offer. I need a new sheet of paper. Okay, so look, I'm going to teach y'all something, right? And this is what you need to know, okay? I like Hormozy's thing. He's got that rolling thing. I need to get one of those. This is a pain in the ass. And then everybody would be like, oh my God, Hormozy did it. Dan's doing it. Oh, then he's copying Hormozy. Oh, Dan breathes oxygen. He must be copying Hormozy. Hormozy breathes oxygen too. Anyway, all right. So here's what happens, right? I call this my 5P method. So there's 5 Ps when it comes to an offer. So there is the person. That is who you are helping, the frickin' person. Then there's a problem. What problem do they have? Then there's a promise. The promise is what life will look like when this problem is solved. Then there is the process. The process is how you're actually going to solve this problem for this person so that they can have this promise. And then there's the product. The product simply helps them use this process more efficiently. So, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Just burn this into your freaking brains. This is like main camera. This right here, guys, like, please, if you just know this, you know more than 90% of people. Every multi-million-dollar offer ever was crafted by professional. They weren't some coach. Like, you guys watch these people like Shelby Sapp and shit, and you think, oh, it's just some girl who like has a low-cut shirt and talks about sales. No, if you watch her content, you watch her webinars or any of these people, Trust me, she had help. I know she had help from professional direct response copywriters. Okay? Professional. Lewis Howes, all these guys you see, Tony Robbins, these are pros or they hire pros. I have sat at the I'm a pro. I've been hired to do this anyway, the point is there's only one way to do this. Okay? Like it's all the same framework every single time. There is a person, this is some people call it the ICP, the ideal client profile, whatever, audience, market, blah, blah, blah. There's the problem they have. There's a freaking problem they have. There is a promise. This is what happens when they solve the problem, and there is a process. And then there is a product that helps with the process. Now, some of you who are very nerdy in copywriting, you may know the process as the unique mechanism. Now, this is very nerdy internet marketing terms, okay? When you sell, if you ever look at like VShred, Mind Valley, all these VSLs and webinars that did millions of dollars, the entire presentation is explaining a unique mechanism, the Jose Silva method, personal power for one of Tony Robbins' ones, or a different one would be state control, okay? They're showing you a big opportunity, a big idea, and then a unique mechanism. So the point here is that if you try to sell an offer based off a process and you don't lock down the problem and the promise and the person and all this first, the process becomes irrelevant. So when you say, oh, I help, like if I want to sell something where I show them emotional healing or whatever. Well, you're telling me you want to sell a process, but nobody buys a process. Nobody buys a process. What people buy is what people buy is a solution to their problem so they can have a promise. Your webinar is 45 minutes of explaining the process to solve the problem. And then at the end, you offer a product that helps them either do the process easier and faster. That'd be software or online courses. Do it with them. That would be coaching, or do it for them. That would be done for you services or professional services. So if you lead, you can't lead with the process. You got to lead with the problem and the promise, and then you explain the process. So whenever I ask somebody, what do they sell? They always come at me with the process. And I'm like, well, that's great, but I don't care. What problem are you solving? Okay. So now that I've gone on that very long rant, tell me, and you guys, anybody can comment, what is the problem you help solve and for who? So just tell me the problem you help your clients solve and for who. Okay, so let me just give you an example, right? I help new moms, okay, who have gained a lot of weight from having a baby. My promise is that they'll be in the best shape of their life even before they had the kid. The process is intermittent fasting. Now, the product can be anything. The product can be an intermittent fasting app, a 2-day retreat where they fast all week or all weekend to get used to it. It could be a freaking course. It could be coaching, accountability coaching. The product doesn't matter. As long as they believe in a process, which is your whole webinar, to solve a problem, to achieve a promise, then they'll buy whatever product you sell to use that process. This is why I tell you the script is the business, because the script is all about the process. Does this make sense to you guys? For any of the beginners that are on here? So we have a problem here in the comments. Creators who know what to do but not doing it. That is not a problem. That is, I don't know what that is. Problem would be I'm getting low views. Okay? So I help local business owners get leads from Facebook ads. That's better, but I'd like you to frame it as a problem. Okay? I help IT professionals who are stuck in low, these comments are going too fast. I can't see the comments. Don't worry, guys. We'll get this figured out better for the next one. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Is this mostly on YouTube? I'll just go on. You know what? Let me just go on YouTube. Yeah, let me just go on YouTube. Isn't that easier? I'll just like literally go on YouTube and read the comments. Okay. Oh, look at me. Okay, I help women heal so that they set themselves free from parental and patriarchal conditioning. Okay, again, we're not talking about a problem here. So I help women. Okay, so we got that. We got the person set themselves free from parental and patriarchal conditioning. So what that again, there's no problem mentioned here. What that sounds like is a root cause. So let's dive into this one from Evet. So Evet, oh, now I can see these comments so much better now. Evet, you say you help women heal so that they set themselves free from parental, but what problem does that solve? Like, let's say I said, well, what's wrong with patriarchal conditioning? Well, maybe it's good. Like, how would you respond? What would you say? See what I'm saying? Like, you're assuming that that's negative. The only way I can assume it's negative is if you give me a problem associated with it. You're giving me a diagnosis, but no symptom. See, that's a diagnosis. That's like saying like, you have an ulcer. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't even tell you what was wrong yet. Like my ass hurts, not my stomach. You know, like you see what I'm saying? Like what is the problem? Okay. Living unfulfilled lives. Again, it's okay. You're in between a diagnosis and a problem. So unfulfilled would be a perception of a problem. Are you saying that they're depressed? Are you saying that they feel like they haven't achieved their, like what is the actual problem, right? We're getting a little bit closer, all right? But do you see what I'm saying? Like you got to have, and this is the biggest problem with offers is that people just have these, and I get it, guys. Like I mean, if this was easy, everybody would make millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? It took me a while to figure this out. You got to have a tangible problem, not this out in the ether, like unfulfilled life. It's got to be like, I am depressed in my marriage. I love my child, but I'm depressed as a mother. Like it's got to be postpartum depression. Like the problem should be something you can say in like literally one word. Well, not 2 or 3 words. Does this make sense though? Like you got to find an actual problem. Then we can go, hey, do you have this problem? Well, wouldn't you like it if this problem was gone? Okay. If you're a person and you have this problem, let me show you the root cause. Like I can come up with a pitch for this off the top of my head if I just know what problem you're solving. All right, let me read a couple more. And then Evet, if you want to comment again, I'll come back to you. Oh, wow, I can see way more comments on here. Okay, so let's go with John because he's posting a lot. Okay, so the problem is they overthink instead of taking actions. Okay, so again, this is a diagnosis. John, you're saying the problem is they overthink instead of taking action. That is a diagnosis. If I come into the doctor, okay, and I say, I need to be seen by the doctor, what's the first thing the doctor's going to ask me? What symptom do you have? Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, your stomach hurts? Let me examine you. Oh, you have gastritis. So the gastritis is the diagnosis. The stomach pain is the problem. You're saying the problem is they overthink instead of taking action. That's a diagnosis, not a problem. The problem would be more like they don't post or they haven't got it started yet because they don't know what to post or they're unclear on what kind of content to create or they're posting every day and they're not getting views. Like, you see what I'm saying? Evita. Okay, Evita. Sorry. So Evita says, I get it. It's a bigger idea, hard to just name one thing. But that's the thing. When you name, guys, all right, check this out. You're going to love this, right? So when we solve problems for people, right? You have a main core problem that you solve. But then there's all these little associated problems, right? So if I say, hey, listen, the problem is you are fat, right? You're fat. That's the problem. Well, what comes with being fat? You don't feel good about yourself. You can't find a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You can't play with your kids without getting tired and wheezing and coughing because you're stuffing your face with McDonald's every day. Oh, you have high blood pressure. Oh, you don't actually go out much because you're ashamed of it. Like, I can name 15 different problems that are associated with being fat. Or the problem, I've been single for a long time. Again, a ton of associated problems. My lead cost is too high. You don't think there's a bunch of sub problems that circle that? So the thing is, you pick one problem to lead. You lead with one problem, and then you say, listen, if you're too fat, you might not go out as much because you feel self-conscious. Or maybe you look at your husband or wife and you find yourself staring at them wondering, do they still love me or are they just putting on a show? How much does this bother them? Like there's all kinds of things you can do to stir up the emotions and talk about the associated problem, but you need to lead with one problem. You need to lead with one. It's like the point of the spear, okay? So if you want to say, well, I can help with all these different things, great, but let's lead with one, okay? So for instance, for Evita, probably like depressed moms or depressed housewives, maybe. I'd have to know more about the offer, but oh, here's a good one. I help DJs who don't know how to produce a professional level create 3 industry standard mix and master tracks in 6 months. Okay, so it sounds like you help new DJs because probably they're newer. The problem is their tracks aren't up to snuff. Their tracks aren't very good. The promise is they will have a professional sounding track within 6 months. And then the process has got to be something specific, right? Like, okay, this is similar, but I used to do no, overthinking is not a problem. What happens as a result of overthinking is a problem, John. Overthinking is the reason you have the problem. Okay? I'm going off on 10 different offers here. If I say I have had 10 girlfriends and I've dated them each for 6 months, but at 6 months, I always end up not, you know, half of them are really great, but I'm 45 and I'm not married and I don't have a wife. And the reason is I overthink it. Well, that's the reason. I overthought it. I always find something wrong with the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the overthink. That's the reason for it. The problem is I don't have a wife and I'm old. Okay. So back to the DJ one, you guys like this stream, by the way? Real quick, in the comments, let me know, what do you like better, my normal videos or these streams? Because I'm kind of liking the stream. You know how much time we take to script stuff, and then you guys just ask questions. I don't got to script nothing. It's very freeing. Just the hook, right? Okay, so for the DJ one, yeah. So the process is to give you an example, right? I used to work in the audio industry. There's always these different approaches. So I'll give you an example. I was at a studio where I was lucky enough to meet the guy that did the mixing and recording for the Def Leppard albums. You guys remember Def Leppard? And remember they had that like big, amazing guitar sound. It just sounded like a wall of guitars, right? So I was sitting with him and I got to ask a question because he was doing like Q&A for this too. I was in like school for audio engineering. And I said, how did you get that wall of guitar sound? And he said, well, you see, most people, when they record guitars, they use an SM7B. Sorry, they use a SM57, and they use maybe a Sennheiser 421, and maybe they use a ribbon mic, and then they mix them together. This is like the standard way to do it. And I'm like, yeah. And like, we all knew about that. He's like, but what I did was I took the cabinet and then I took a bunch of sound absorbers and I made a tunnel. And the tunnel was 20 feet long. And I put a microphone right up at like right where the guitar cabinet was. And then like every few feet, I put another microphone. And I call it the vortex technique. And there's like 7 microphones. And then we mix them all together in a certain way. And then we put them, hard left. And then we put another one like a little bit, more mono, and then a little bit more mono, and then a little bit more mono. And then we get this wall of guitar sound, right? And so what did he do? Hey, person, recording professional, mixing engineer, problem, the guitars aren't beefy enough. Promise, you'll have the wall guitar sound. Process, the guitar vortex technique. The old way is the standard 2 mic system. The new way is the vortex system. And now, he didn't have anything to sell, but if he would have said right there, hey, Dan, I've got a 1-day workshop where I'll show you, we'll set up a freaking guitar cabinet. We'll set up all the mics. We'll record the guitars. And in 1 day, in this 1-day workshop, you're going to learn how to do the guitar vortex technique. You're going to learn how to make sure all the microphones are in phase, how to mix it. What happened? Imagine that conversation I had was the webinar. He just explained to me how he solved the problem for me to give me a promise, and he explained the guitar vortex technique. But just because he explained what to do, make a tunnel with multiple mics, why it works, because there's multiple mics capturing different characters of the guitar, and then you pan them to different areas, and now it creates the sound. And then when to do it is when you want that big wall sound. Well, I still don't know how to do it. I don't. Like, I get the general idea, but I don't know specifically how to set it up and mix everything and pan. Well, do I pan it? Like, do I pan it just a few degrees? Do I pan it like one here, one here? There's so many questions. And so the gap was like, how do I set all that up? And what microphones do I use? And this and that and blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, I'm doing a 1-day workshop where you can come and we'll do it together. I would have bought that. Okay. Like, so do you see? This is it, guys. This is why, so we do, let me just explain. We have an offer where we do done-for-you webinars for our clients. One of my favorite offers, because we take our clients in, we discover what they sell, we discover what their process is, and then we take their process and we turn it into this beautiful, amazing 1-hour script where you start out thinking, oh, it's just like a guitar technique, or oh, it's just this, or oh, well, it's just this. And then it turns into this like 45-minute epic explanation. And people are just like, I got to have that. And then, we get messages from our clients. Oh my God, my webinar converted at 13%. And it's just really nice to see that, because guys, I'm telling you, you don't need a unique offer. You need a unique explanation. Everybody sells the same stuff. Everybody. You either sell something that helps you make or save money, wealth market. You sell something that makes you healthier, or something to do with health market, weight loss, mental health, whatever. Or you sell relationships. How to parent, how to get your ex back, how to improve your marriage, how to improve your relationship with yourself, how to have difficult there's a book called Conscious Conversations or something. It was on the last coaching call. One of my clients told me about it. It's literally a whole book about how to have difficult conversations, right? Relationship market. Everybody sells the same stuff. Whatever you've thought of, it ain't new. Okay. But what is new is a unique explanation. P90X. It's a freaking home workout program. It ain't new. You move your body. Okay. Listen to me. Okay. Probably can't. Okay. Damn it. All right. We need a stand-up camera. Guys, if you, for 20 minutes a day, move your body like this in any way, you will lose weight. No shit, Sherlock. But if I make an infomercial and I'm like, do you know the reason you don't get results in the gym is because your body quickly adapts to the workout, and then and then you don't get sore anymore, and then you just don't progress. See, you gotta trick the muscle. You gotta confuse the muscle, and then it grows. That was the whole P90X process, the unique mechanism, the whole thing. Okay. And they sold millions and millions and millions of dollars of a stupid home workout system because they convinced you that if you just confuse the muscle, you'd grow. You know how dumb that is? That's total bullshit. Okay. You go in there and you lift heavy weight, and every week you go up a little bit, you will gain muscle. The end. You eat your protein, you lift weights, you gain muscle. Like, it's getting your fat ass in the gym and actually doing it. That's the trick. Not, oh my God, muscle confusion. Oh yeah. Bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. It's a lie. It just sounds nice. It's tricking you to buy the cassette tape and then just move your fat ass so you actually lose weight. Because if you just move, you're going to lose weight. The problem was never what type of workout you were doing. It was that you weren't doing a workout. And they're like, oh, muscle confusion. You're like, that's the key. It's not because I'm a lazy piece of shit. It's because it's muscle confusion. And then you buy the thing and then you still don't do that anyway, okay? The point is you don't need a unique offer. You need a unique explanation. By the way, to be clear, P90X does work. It all works. Go to the gym. It will always work if you just do it. But like, it's like muscle confusion. That's not like, I don't, because if you do the same, like if you do the same, Ty, my video director, he used to be a bodybuilder. If you do the same workout every week, but you do progressive overload, will you not gain muscle? Exactly. You know, the muscles not like sit there like, I'm smart. You got to confuse me. Like, it's bullshit. Okay. It's just a VSL. Like, it's just marketing. Okay. Anyway, that was just a rant. That's a super cool wall of guitar. Yeah, it's a fun story. Okay, what else we got here? What do you think about a $3,000 offer? I've sold about 7. Well, that's good, but pretty much have broken even with ad spend. Really? Conversion rate is about 2%. Ah. Okay, this is good. This will be a really good okay, you guys want to learn something? So Giovanni? So Giovanni, I would love to bring him on the Zoom because I think I can. This is a good opportunity. Giovanni, can I message him somehow? This is what I don't like about. Giovanni, can you message me on Instagram at Dan Henry? I'm going to send you a Zoom link. I want you to hop on. I'm going to bring you on voice, and I'm going to talk you through it because this is a good opportunity to do so. And we'll end with that. I think this will be a good. Yeah, this is a great question. You guys are going to learn some really, really good stuff from this. Giovanni, message me on Instagram, and I'm going to give you a link, okay? Can you do that for me, brother? Yeah? Can Carla handle it? Well, great. That's even better. Don't make me do it. All right. Let's get him on because this is actually a really good, really, 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 really good opportunity. While they're doing that, I will answer a couple more questions. By the way, You sent me a DM. Okay. By the way, guys, are you learning from this? Do you guys like, what do you like more? Just comment stream or video. Video meaning my normal videos that I do on the channel, or stream if you like stuff like this. I would just comment it. I would love to know. I would love to know which one. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the. Carla, you got it? Can you figure that out with Giovanni? We'll come up with a better system next time. What would be great is like a phone number they could call in. We got to figure that out. That would be dope. A phone number. Okay. We're at 10 to 14K. So this comes from Ava. Ave. We're at 10 to 14K a month, but so many leads are dead broke. Our offer is 2,500. So this is a thing. When you say that they're broke, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I've coached probably 4,000 people by this time, and 95% of the time when people say they're broke, it's not the case. You just have a shitty script. I'm just being real. Do webinars work for B2B? Yeah. Yes, very much so. They work very well. Let's bring on for the Giovanni, and we're going to be able to talk about this broke thing. There we go. There we go. Oh, Carlos got it. Okay. So Carla, bring him on. Sharon, just don't bring him on as a panelist. Just hit allow to talk, which I said that at the beginning, and you brought Ben on anyway, and you messed up my video. So next time, just hit allow to talk. It's all right. We're figuring it out. The next stream will be better. What's your take on challenge funnels? Well, so the only thing I've done that's made me $1 million in a day three times. So I like them. All right. Do we got him, Carla?
We got him.
Dan,
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Great to speak with you. I've been watching your stuff for a while.
Cool, man. Cool. Okay. Let me ask you some questions so that you can learn and everybody here can learn. Let me scroll back to your comment. So you said it's a $3,000 offer?
Yes. $3,000 tool.
Is that a like coaching program, course? What is it?
It's a coaching program slash done for you type of offer. I've been a life insurance agent for the past 6 years, and I've had, I would say, success with marketing, funnels, etc. So I help other life insurance agents grow their business with what I've done.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly, you will always make more money doing that than being a life insurance agent. Everything's more profitable when you teach it. Okay. So $3,000 coaching offer. So let's do some numbers here. So how many people, like, do you do the live webinars or automated webinars?
Live webinars. I've been doing them every week, every Thursday.
Okay, great. Last webinar, how many people did you have on?
The exact number is about 90. I have to open up my memos, but I think it's about
Okay,
90.
so you had 90 attendees, right? So
Mhm.
let's just get the numbers on the board. You had 90
Yeah.
attendees. How many
I
people
would say
registered?
the last one was a bad example because I didn't sell any, unfortunately. I did sell one, but he had like some compliance stuff that he couldn't do
Okay, well,
marketing.
can we go to the one before? I mean, what would be great is if you
Yeah.
had the data for like all of them, but what's the one
I do
before
I
that?
do have the data for all of them, but I don't think I have the averages for all of them. Like I have them individually.
Just
But
give me something I can work with. So you had the
I'll give
webinar you
you
did
I'll give
before
you
that,
yeah, I'll give you the one that I
registered
did
and
before that.
attended.
Yeah, so about 200, it's opening up right now. So I'm gonna give you all the real numbers. So 89 unique live attendees, okay?
Okay, I'm just gonna put 90
216
so I don't have to write it again.
okay.
89.
216 registered.
Okay, so let's go over here. So 216 registered, right? So let's just start evaluating these numbers immediately. So if we look at that, that means that I wish I was better at shorthand math. 90 divided by 216. So you had a 41%
41%.
show up rate.
Yep.
Okay, so that's not bad. All right. 41% show rate. Not bad. You're doing something right there. Okay. All right. What is your cost per registrant?
Cost per registrant.
Were you running ads or you doing it organic?
$28.33.
Okay, well that sucks. That's a lot. We got to get that down.
Yeah. So the cost per
28. I'm
attendee
just
ended
gonna
up
put
being,
$28.
yeah, the cost per attendee ended up being $68.
Yeah, we got to get that down, bro. That might not be like the main issue, but that's pretty freaking high. Okay, so how long until you pitched? Like, what was the time until the pitch?
An hour and 15 minutes is when I do the
That's
price
long.
reveal. That's when I do a price reveal. So I start the pitch like at 1 hour into the webinar. The price reveal is like an hour and 15 minutes into the webinar.
That's long, bro. I like to hit it at 50 minutes. That's a
50.
bit long. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a bit long. Okay, so do you book a call for the 3,000 or straight to order page?
Straight to order.
Oh, you bad girl, you. Wow, 3,000 straight to order page. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Okay, so on this particular webinar, what do we convert at?
I sold 2.
You sold 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's so 2. So that means if you had 90 attendees on, so 2 divided by 90, you converted at 2%, right?
Yep.
That sucks. That's not good. Let's
Yeah.
make it better. Okay. So yeah, you converted at 2%. I'm putting it in red because these KPIs are very bad. Okay. But that's okay. If they were good and you were not making money, then we'd have a problem. If they're bad, that means we have room to fix them.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2% conversion rate. This is low. Your show rate is not bad. Like that's the only good thing. That's why I put it in blue. It's not top tier amazing. It's pretty good, but it's not bad. High, very low. So that means that you collected 6,000.
Yeah.
So you're making $66 per attendee. So your cash per attendee is $66, which means if we take 6,000 and we divide it by 216, your cost per registrant, so your cost per lead is 27. So you're basically not making any money because these are the same. That's where we've, okay, good. All right.
Much.
So couple questions. We could talk about ads and getting this lower. Actually, let's talk about it. When you run an ad, are you hitting them with retargeting ads prior, like in between the time they register and the time they actually get on the webinar? Are you hitting them with educational retargeting ads, maybe image posts that look like normal posts that show authority? Like, are you hitting them with stuff to warm them up and keep them or keep you on their mind from the time they register to the time of the webinar?
Not really. I was thinking about doing it with emails, like sending them a couple of emails.
Wait. You do send emails if they register, right?
Yeah, I do. But I'm saying like video emails. I don't know if that makes sense.
Emails to a video?
Like including a video inside of the email, like setting them to actually join the webinar. I guess to kind of provide value before they join the webinar. So like incentivize
so do you have
them
like
to...
YouTube content or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just send them your best YouTube videos prior to the webinar. How long would that take you to do that? Like what, 20 minutes?
Yeah. The thing is that the way I was thinking about it is I was thinking like maybe I was gonna help me with show up rate, but I feel like that's not my constraint. But it would obviously like increase probably the show up rates.
Well, yeah, but it's not just about show up rate. If you go out on a date with a girl and it's a blind date, you show up versus you've texted her like 20, 30 times before the date, which date is going to go smoother faster?
Yeah, that makes sense. That obviously makes sense.
Yes, send them. Yes, bro. Send them content before the webinar. That would help. Okay. Stop thinking about it and just do
Yeah.
it. After you
Yeah.
get off this, just go write the emails. Just do it.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
like if you didn't have the YouTube videos, I would say, okay,
Yeah.
I get your point, but you already have YouTube videos. Just
Well, okay,
Hey,
I didn't add context. I uploaded my first video like yesterday. My first life insurance video yesterday, because before I used to do like more podcast type videos where I didn't really talk about life insurance. I transitioned to like posting content
okay, so
yesterday.
tomorrow go film 10 videos answering comment. Have you ever sent a didn't buy survey to your okay, listen, I'm gonna
I've called them. I've called them. I've called the people I didn't buy. I've called them. So I haven't sent them like a didn't buy survey, but I've called them
Set-
individually.
Okay, well, that's pretty. That's a lot. What
Yeah.
what did they say? Like, what's their biggest issue?
Money, primarily.
They
And
didn't
I've
have
had
any.
Yeah, and I've had people try to finance, and they didn't qualify for financing.
Okay,
So it's like
what
a
is
bunch
the
of stuff that I've tried.
but take me take me through the problem that you solve. So I know who your person is. It's an insurance agent, right?
Uh-huh.
What problem do you help them solve? Just in one sentence.
Schedule appointments with their dream clients.
Okay, and the promise is they will what? Double their insurance commissions.
I don't make income claims. I make more so like appointment and lead claims. Like I can get them a ton of
Well, you
leads
know,
and a ton of appointments.
doubling your commissions is not technically an income claim because you didn't say a number. You just said double.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
could say
I can.
and then what you could say is if you double your leads, what do you think would happen to your commissions?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
That's a great
So
point.
you make them do the math on it. You don't need to say it, right? So what is the process? Like, what are you doing differently than any other insurance agent that like, why would I give a shit?
So most insurance agents, they don't know how to schedule appointments. They don't know how to get leads. Like they're struggling to generate leads. They're like trying to settle friends and family.
What are
And
they trying to do? So referrals, they're trying to do referrals.
they're trying to get like referrals and sell to their friends and family and buy leads from other people. And those leads end up like sucking or cold calling.
Okay, and what is the thing you do different?
So I create a funnel, and we also like study like one very specific market that they have some sort of affinity to. So we study the market, and then we create a very specific offer to sell life insurance to that market. And then we create a funnel around it where they opt in, then they have the option to like self-schedule. So it's like that's kind of like what I do. I'm trying to
So do
explain
they
it
know
as
what
yeah.
funnels are? Yeah,
I
but see, the thing
yeah.
is, the way you're explaining it to me, I'm like, huh, which leads me to believe you explain it on your webinar in a way that's huh, which
Mm,
is why you have a 2% conversion rate.
I see.
Okay, like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the entirety of a webinar is explaining your process to solving a problem so that the person can get the promise. So if your
Mm,
explanation to me is like kind of disjointed, what do you like? That's why you have a low conversion rate, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Okay. So are you able to condense your whole webinar down into 30 seconds?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Can you do that for me? And then
Yeah.
here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little exercise. You're going to give me your 30-second condensed webinar pitch. And then I'm going to give you my 30-second condensed webinar pitch from a webinar that did $9.2 million. And then you're going to just see the difference. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So
you go first.
yeah, so pretty much I help life insurance agents create this very specific process, this 4-page process, and I create the whole thing for them where we study a very specific market that they have some sort of affinity with. And that I mean, if they don't know their dream market, we go in the class and we define that dream market, and then I show them like the very detailed process to study that market, to know like what their fears are, what their goals are, what they want for the future, like whatever it may be. And so we study that market, and then we create the whole marketing campaign around it to attract and capture the attention of that market, to then schedule them, I guess take them to a landing page where we get their contact information. And we create the whole process in a way where after they give you their contact information, they want to schedule themselves on your calendar. So you don't have to go ahead and call people and bother your friends and family, but you're going to be able to have meetings with your dream clients without even having to call them. They will schedule themselves on your calendar to sell them life insurance. That's pretty much the 30-second. I try to finish it in 30 seconds. I don't know if that was good.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Now would you like me to give you mine?
Yeah, of course.
Just so you can compare. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to make money online without owning your own product and without having an audience, then this is how you do it. You're going to become a modern day Don Draper. Don Draper is an advertising executive on the show Mad Men. Now, he had to work his way up the corporate ladder for years to get to where he is. But what he simply does is he writes an advertisement for a company like, say, Doritos. Now, Doritos has the product, chips. He puts that advertisement on, say, a TV channel. The TV channel, say ABC, has an audience. So ABC has the audience, Doritos has the product, and he simply gets paid to write the ad and put it there. So he doesn't have to own a product. He doesn't have to own an audience. He just gets paid to write the advertisements. Now, see, today, in modern day, you can become a modern day Don Draper because right now you can go into your Facebook ads dashboard, you can click Ads Manager, and you can start an account. You don't have to work your way up any corporate ladder. You can get clients, you can run ads for them. You don't have to own their business, and you don't have to have an audience because Facebook is the audience. They'll pay you $1,500 to $3,000 every month to write these little simple ads, and you have 10 clients, bam, you have one hell of a business. That's it. You see?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so that was the whole webinar in 30 seconds. Become a modern day Don Draper. So what? Become a modern day Draper. Why? Because you don't have to own a product or an audience. You just write little ads. When? Now, because everybody needs help with ads. That's it. Okay?
Yep.
So in other words, you have to make it really dumb and simple. Like the amount of revisions I went through that, and I was just like, I made it dumber and dumber, and I finally landed on become a modern day Don Draper. Like I was watching Mad Men, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't Don Draper like basically like an ad exec? Yeah, he is. What do people always want? They don't want to own a business and they don't want to have an audience, but they still want to make money. How do I teach them? Oh, become a modern day Don Draper. Bam, there it is. Okay, so. It sounds like in yours, you're saying don't do outbound, do inbound. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. And the inbound, is that ads?
Yeah, ads, correct. Now, it's not life insurance ads. It's like, it's not about the product, it's about the concept, right? And it's showing a concept to a very specific avatar, right? So it's more so financial planning, like thinking about the future, as opposed to saying, hey, life insurance for doctors. It's more so like advertising the concept for doctors, right? That's the way I've generated leads for my business, and that's the way I've
Okay,
sold life
I still don't understand it. So actually just tell me what to do. Let's say I'm an insurance agent and I want to I run ads about financial planning and then I bait and switch them to insurance.
So it's not really bait and switch because we're not talking about financial planning overall. We're talking about the things that life insurance does, but we don't say, hey, life insurance. So it's not.
But you see how complicated and clouded this is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, that's why your conversion rate, it's not that they're broke, dude. Okay, look. If
So what would you do if you were me?
I would write a much better webinar. I would make it simpler. I would follow this process. I would have I would base the whole webinar on a very simple process that gets them what they want. Okay. And I would dumb it down to like 3rd grade reading level because everything you just said, I'm a professional marketer. I don't know. I'm lost. Like if I'm lost, like, okay, so I just saw a comment. He's being ambiguous because he doesn't want to give the strategy away. That doesn't work. That's not how you sell. Okay. So is the strategy, is that true? Or is that just like that person's perspective? Like, do you not want to give the strategy away? Is that why?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay, so then
The
what
thing,
is the
are you
strategy?
saying,
Tell
are you
me,
saying on the live? Are you saying like on the live or like on the webinar?
on the webinar, do you like bro, I don't know.
Yeah, so
We could write you a great webinar script, but I got to understand what you do. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're saying you help insurance agents use ads and funnels to get customers. That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is that I used to do regular life insurance advertising, right? And then I figured out that life insurance, obviously, it's a commodity because I mean everyone sells life insurance, and you can like if you get a lead, for example, right? So I don't want to make it a commodity, right? Because every time I would get a life insurance lead and I would get like about to get them on as a client, they would say, "Oh no, I want to check in with my cousin or my friend because they also sell life insurance. Maybe I can get it for cheaper."
Yeah.
Right?
So
So I
how are
don't
you
just
repositioning that to not be a commodity?
so I focus on finding out the problem of the very specific avatar. So I'll give you an example for what I do for my life insurance business, right? So my specific avatar is working mothers of a child with special needs. Okay. Now I
Mhm.
figured out that most working mothers of children with special needs have the same exact problems, right? They're worried about what's going to happen to their children when they're not there anymore. Why? Because they're not going to be able to become independent, live on their own, find a job. So there are multiple
Okay.
things that have to be done, such as find an attorney to create a special needs trust and like do all these different things and go through the guardianship process and create a letter of intent, like all these different things that are very
Okay, I
specific
got
to the
it.
avatar. Now, obviously, I don't explain that in the webinar, right? But I've decommoditized, I guess, life insurance because now I don't just sell them life insurance, which life insurance does solve a major problem that they have, which is like leaving
Okay.
enough finances so their child is always taken care of, number one. But number two, I also help them do like all the little things that are needed to plan for their child's
Okay, but how
future,
does
right?
you just skip to the end? How does this
Yeah.
sell them life insurance?
Because it's needed. It's needed. They need it for the child's future. So they have enough
Okay,
finances to
so what
have
you're
great care and
saying
great
is
quality.
do you sell them or give them like do you sell some sort of info product and then sell the life insurance on the back end? Do you just create content on how to solve those problems and then you lead them to the solution of the insurance? Is that what you do?
So I sell them life insurance, then I put them on this like automation I created where every 30
No,
days
no,
you get,
bro,
yeah.
you gotta listen. You have to be able to explain this in a way
Uh-huh.
where at least a professional marketer understands it. Okay,
Okay.
so listen, I kind of get what you're saying, but by the way, trust me, all you need is a good script, and your entire business you're breaking even with. I already know it, bro. It's not a good script because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're breaking even. That's good.
Yeah.
You're literally breaking even with I don't even know what. So if you had something good, imagine how much money you would make. Okay, so you're saying that you position yourself as somebody who helps them with their overall problem. And then, oh, by the way, I sell life insurance, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a discovery process. Usually when I go through that discovery
So,
process
okay,
with them,
when they run an ad, when you
uh-huh.
run an ad to mothers with special needs, what is the freaking headline of the ad? Like, what are you actually saying?
Hey, well, obviously I call it the avatar. Working mothers of a child with special needs. This checklist tells you everything you have to do for your child's future, like something like that.
You're a lead magnet. You're doing a lead
Yeah,
magnet.
yeah, I'm doing a lead magnet. Yeah, exactly.
And then
It's
they
usually
get,
a
and
free
then they
book,
get,
a free checklist. And that's what I'm showing to life insurance agents how to do. How to create a lead magnet for their dream clients. And then in exchange of that lead magnet, they get their contact information. Then it takes them to another page where they schedule themselves on the calendar. So it's like the whole funnel. I show them how to do the whole funnel, how to study their dream avatar, how to create the lead magnet, how to have the four-step funnel, right? So obviously, I think if in the 90-minute window, if you saw it, like it would make obviously a lot more sense.
yeah, but it shouldn't need that, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So here's what we have. The person is somebody,
life
life
insurance agent.
insurance agent. Problem is they can get leads. Problem is they'll get leads. So we're trying to explain the process right now. So the process is so a great contrarian hook for this is listen, if you want to get more life insurance leads, the last thing you should be doing is advertising life insurance. Okay. So I'd have to think about this, but the way I would probably position this, and I don't know what you're saying on your webinar, But the way I would probably position this is, I always look at other promotions that you can borrow from. So I remember Russell Brunson did a really successful, a really successful offer years ago. And it was like, this weird niche funnel is making me $17,000 per day or something like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like try to borrow stuff. So I could say like, if this weird marketing strategy is getting me whatever, 200 life insurance leads per day, right? So I think about that, and I think about, okay, because it is weird. Like what you're saying is a bit weird, right? To them.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? So we just need to wrap up a unique angle for it. So in my mind, I start going through, okay, backwards marketing. Let me teach them how to do backwards. Okay, maybe we could do that. And then we say like, okay, how do we describe this as, because what you're doing is you're basically becoming like a mini influencer to them, solving their problems and then leading them to your life insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, one thing you could do is you could say something like, I don't necessarily like this, but you could be like, I don't like this. It sounds stupid, but you could be like the grocery method, right? Or the loss leader method or something. You could be like, look, you could explain how, you know how what loss leaders are in grocery stores or department stores? Like, come in and get this incredibly discounted TV for this promotion, but then you end up like buying a bunch of extra stuff, right? Like, you know, that whole marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So check it out, right? So imagine you're on the webinar and you're like, look, before I understood how to do this, I realized one very important thing, that life insurance agents such as myself, we're not very good at marketing, right? We're not very good at that. And I started looking at other industries and I wanted to find like, what am I missing? Because I know that I'm not going to get 1% results if I do what 99% of life insurance agents are doing. Like I'm not, right? And so I started looking at other industries and I came across this concept of a loss leader. And a loss leader is where a store offers something for an incredible price, something they might even lose money on. And the idea is that if somebody goes in to get this discounted TV, they go in to buy it, but by the time they get out of the store, they've bought a whole bunch of other stuff because they're in the store. They need other stuff. And this tactic has worked for decades. Why do you think every Black Friday there's all these deals? Do you think it's because they just feel generous? Or do you think it's because they know they're going to get you in the store and then you're going to spend more? And see, the same thing happens in life insurance. Your customers are coming to you for life insurance, but the reason they want life insurance is because they have a reason for it. There's things going on in their life that they say to themselves, I need life insurance. So when I run ads, I don't run ads about life insurance. I run ads about the other problems that person has in their life, and I use them as a loss leader. So if I run an ad to somebody who has a special needs child and I give them a checklist, you might use it as an example, then I've now helped them solve a problem. I've got them on my email list. I've got them as a contact. I already know that one of the things that can help them is life insurance. So basically what I'm doing is, instead of being a life insurance agent, I become a professional problem solver. And I create ads that solve problems for people that I know also need life insurance as a solution to their problems. And then, yeah, see, this is, to be honest with you, the way your marketing is complex. And so the explanation ends up on its own being complex. But I would work, you got to use, like, how many analogies are you using? Are you using like simple analogies like this to explain this to them?
Yes, but no, not as good as the one that you just gave me. That one was good.
Yeah, like it should be the loss leader method
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
backwards funnel or
That was
something like
good.
that.
That
Like,
was really good.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like they've got to understand what's, like, why this work, what it is. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what to do. Don't market real estate, don't market insurance services. Give away free content, right? Or don't market your service, market content, something like that. And then why? Because if you help solve problems for a certain person, they will come to you to solve more problems. Okay. And then you could be like, why do you think they do free personal training sessions? Why do you think they do loss leaders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Okay. I'd have to think about it for a bit, but yeah, your script has a lot of, yeah, it has a lot of holes because of that. But simple analogies that explain why, contrarian statements such as don't market the worst thing you can do to get life insurance clients is market life insurance. But the real thing you need, this is what we spend the most time on in our company, is finding that unique mechanism, that process, because it's probably for your webinar going to be something in the realm of a certain type of marketing strategy, a certain type of funnel, or it could be an identity-based mechanism, right? Like you could say, I don't know if I would do this because life insurance agents probably don't aspire to be this, but you could say something like, you're going to be more than a life insurance. You're going to be like I wouldn't say influencer, but yeah, I might go with the loss leader thing.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to, the way you get life insurance clients is you solve, like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, you know why I stick with the same real estate agent every single time? Because my real estate agent will solve a bunch of additional problems for me that are related to my real estate transaction, but they don't technically have to solve. So like the reason I work with them is because, like, I'll give you an example. I have a real estate agent here in Dubai. I've done several properties with him. If I have a question about like trade license, or like, let's say like one time I had to get my Emirates ID renewed because there was an error. He like literally went with me to the frickin' place, spoke to them in Arabic, and helped me with it. Okay. So I would try to find something around that. Like, you're not just a life insurance agent. You know, the other thing you could do is you could focus on the niche, because that's what it sounds like a big part of what you do is the niche, right?
Yep.
So I used to explain it this way with Facebook ad agencies. I said, what you want to do is you want to be a specialist, not a generalist, right? Because if you're a specialist, if you only work with, say, lawyers, that means every time you create a campaign, it's the same campaign. It's just for a different lawyer. But if you work with all different types of clients, now you have to figure out a completely new industry every single time that you run ads for them. So you could say something like, look, why do people come to, what's the biggest problem? What's the biggest objection you have when you tell somebody you do real life insurance? Oh, I know somebody, my cousin, whatever. Well, why do they say that? Have you ever asked yourself why they say that? They say that because they trust their cousin more than you. When it comes to life insurance, the number one thing people want is to trust. They want someone they can trust. That's it. If you can make people trust you, they will buy life insurance from you. So the big question is, how do we get people to trust us? We get people to trust us by solving other problems in their life And then they come to us to solve that problem. So you could even call it inception marketing, right? Or whatever. I mean, the names don't matter as long as they make sense and they go, oh, okay. You could say, listen, when I run ads and you want to start like, look at all these leads I got. Look at all these commissions I got. The way I got these was I did not run advertisements about life insurance. I ran advertisements about problems I knew my ideal client also had. I solved their problem or that problem, and then they came to me for the life insurance. So here's the step. Number one, pick the person who is most likely to trust you. If you are a single mom, well, who do you think is going to trust you? Single moms, because you're also a single mom. If you is there a reason why you went after the special needs kids? Is because you have a special needs kids, maybe?
No. So my mother, she works with children with special needs.
Okay, so you have some sort of So you have some sort of personal connection, right?
Yeah.
So who are the easiest clients to sell? People who have some sort of connection to you, right? For instance, my mother works with special needs kids. So my client, and I have a special place in my heart for that. So I help women or families with special needs kids get life insurance.
Yeah.
I've put my flag, I've planted my flag. This is who I work with. So now all I do is I market to those people and I help solve problems associated with life insurance for free. But I never advertise my life insurance. Okay. So, you could call it the hidden ad or something like that. The hidden ad strategy, because the life insurance pitch is hidden after they get their lead magnet or whatever. The point is, all they have to do is say, wow, this is different. I see how this works. You throw in multiple metaphors and analogies to, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. But what you really need is a big idea. And the big idea should be something like, people buy life insurance from people they trust. Or the big idea could be like, the more you create trust, I mean, you could even go the personal brand route. You could be like, I'm going to show you how to create a personal brand around your life insurance. And then you could explain what that personal brand is. Pick a client, help them with problems. Like there's a lot of different ways you could go with this. Yeah. But all of them are better than the 2%.
Yeah, for sure.
Now. But you really need to stick with a big idea. That's what you need.
So you think it's more so presentation problem?
Yeah. 100%. They have money. They say they don't have money. They have money. They just don't believe enough. Trust me, they have money. Because think about it this way, right? If they were to, how many clients do you have?
This is like I've been selling life insurance, like actually selling life insurance for the past 6 years. So this is new. This is new. This is new.
No.
This whole webinar stuff is new. About 7.
No, you made. So wait, when you say that, hold on. When you say that you made 2 sales on the last webinar, how many total sales have you made?
About 7. I've only done like 7 webinars.
Well, have you got results for the clients?
Well, the first one is about to launch because it's like a whole like multi-step process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to launch.
This is why I always say just sell one-on-one coaching over DM for your first few clients. Do you know why I'm going to tell you a webinar secret. And this is what, this I believe is the main core issue. Okay. Because the reason why I'll tell you the secret behind why that webinar did 9.2 million. I'll tell you the secret. Okay. And how I figured it out. Before I did that webinar, I got on the phone, literally the phone, with probably 6 or 7 people. And I literally helped them with their ads. And I just because I had no idea. I had no idea the problems that they were encountering. because I'm a different breed. I just didn't have the same problems they had. I had no idea. But when I got on the call with them and I saw like what was going on, I remember one of the guys was like, man, if I can just figure this out, I can make money without having a product or an audience. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't want to have a product or an audience. I'm just running ad for somebody else's product. And I was like, huh. And then another guy said, oh, this is kind of like being an ad executive, but from home. And I was like, huh. You see what I'm saying? Like that one-on-one, those one-on-one interactions. And then here's the other thing. I did not know, because remember, it's a Facebook ads course on how to start a Facebook ad agency. I did not know that people were so terrified to take on their first client. I had no idea. So, because the reason why I was successful, I ran ads for my restaurant. I knew how to run ads. So when I got clients, I was like, well, yeah, I know how to run ads. I didn't even think about it. They didn't have confidence in that. So I developed this idea that if you say, hey, I'm learning ads, I want to run ads for you for free for a month. I won't charge you, but if you get results, give me a testimonial. And then we can maybe continue paid the next month if you want. Well, when I gave them that pitch, I was like, listen, you're setting the expectation that you are new, you are a student. That's why you're not charging. So these people there's no expectation, right? So you see how I'm explaining this? All these little explanations came from my experience with the clients. This is why I always say when you're a brand new coach, sell people one-on-one coaching, get 5 to 10 clients, have the experience of working with them. And then 80% of the assets you need for your webinar, the raw assets, will be there. It sounds like you have not had that experience and you try to write a webinar, not being a professional copywriter, from scratch. Because one of the first things that we do when we write a webinar from somebody is we say, like, what are some things your clients said around this? What is like the number one thing clients say that they help you? Like, we try to find the gold.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we try to find the gold. But like right now we're shooting from not much.
Yeah.
There, I promise, but you've worked with your clients, right?
Yeah. And well, I guess I didn't say this, but the webinar doesn't even have any testimonials yet, obviously, because I've never shared my secrets with anyone, I guess.
That's okay. Are you showing screenshots of your leads?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
Leads
that's
and
enough.
appointment reports.
That's enough to start. Also, keep in mind when you do one-on-one coaching in the beginning, you can get results for the clients faster, so you get the testimonials faster. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's what I would do: go back to your clients and ask them, what was the moment it clicked for you? Like, what was the moment on the webinar, or what was the moment working with me that you went, now I get it? They're going to tell you something that you never thought of, right? Like when the guy said to me, oh, this is like, I'm like an ad executive. I'm like, and I believe I said, you mean like a modern day Don Draper? He's like, yeah. And I think he made like a joke about smoking cigars or something, because, and I was like, a modern day Don Draper. You see, like, you gotta talk to your clients and see how they are thinking. Okay. See what's going on in their mind. And then you can start pulling out the gold. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something in there. There's some, but off the top of my head, without looking at your existing script, we have like a 30-question interview process that we do to figure this out. So I'm going on like nothing. I would say something like my best guess off the top of my head would be something like, explain what loss leaders are, associate that with your method, name the method, give the steps. Step 1, find a very specific type of client that you relate to. Okay. Somebody that when you say, hey, I share this with you, there's a connection that creates trust. Number 2, create something that solves problems for that person outside of life insurance. For example, give an example, right? And then an analogy why. Step 3, run ads to this thing, to your ideal client, so that you can help them. Step 4, send them to a funnel where they get the thing, qualify them, and set an appointment for life insurance. Because in the funnel, that's where they're going to get. Again, I don't know much about your process, so I'm not really explaining this well. But so listen, you name the method, you show the steps of the method, right? So like, for instance, give you an example, right? Let's say I was selling an offer on on offer creation. And I explain my 5P method. What am I doing? Step 1, figure out your person. Step 2, figure out the problem they have. Step 3, figure out how you're going to articulate the promise. Step 4, figure out the process that delivers that promise. Step 5, create a product. And all this product has to do is help them do the process easier, faster, with them, or for them. Okay, so I just explained that, right? So you now know the 5P, you know what it is, you know why it works, you know when to do it, you know the steps, but you don't know how to do it. How do I do that? How do I pick my process? How do I, blah, 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 blah. Come to this coaching program, whatever, and we'll help you do it. You see, that whole thing just, so you just got to, like, I'm teaching you by doing it. You get my point? So as long as you can name the method, you can explain why this method is better than the method they're currently using. You can use analogies and metaphors to do so. They're going to want help. See, are you trying to sell them your service on the webinar, or are you trying to sell them on the idea of your method? And then at the end, you say, hey, would you like help doing this? Go here.
First the idea,
Like
and
what?
then the service. So
But you're not selling them on the
you're
service until you make the pitch, right?
Yeah, correct. So I know you're very familiar with Russell Brunson and the way he pitches. That's like the same exact process I follow, like secret 1, secret 2, secret 3, like my origin story in the beginning, and then yeah, that's what I do.
You're doing the old. Okay, great. Well, what's your secret 1?
My secret 1 is about the vehicle, like what I'm telling you about right now.
Yeah, but what's the title of it? What's the name of the secret 1?
It's how to schedule life insurance appointments, how to schedule. I can tell you the exact title. I can tell you the exact one right now.
I'm gonna see if you're doing it right.
What's that?
I'm gonna see if you're doing it right. So I'll tell you if you're doing Russell's script right. Russell's hired me to do pitches and closing multiple times. I know his script. Russell has hired me to write webinars and do closes for him multiple times. So I'm very familiar with his script. I know it like the back of my hand. Go ahead.
So secret number 1 is the strategy to schedule meetings without cold calling, buying leads, or annoying friends and family.
Okay. So that's secret 1. So basically how to get leads without annoying.
To schedule meetings. To schedule meetings.
Okay. What is secret 2?
Why knowing nothing about marketing will help you generate more sales than your competition.
Oh, wow. You might actually be doing it right. So that's the internal objection, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the external objection?
How to get your dream clients knocking at your door and bring their friends with them.
Okay, but how does that cover the external objection though?
It's like, oh, like I don't know how to, it's more so like I don't know how to get the right people to come into my funnel. Like that's the external objection.
That's 2 internals. That's not external. That's 2 internals. An external objection, boy, this is going back, man. This is the old school Russell script. So an internal objection is I can't do it because there's something wrong with me. The external objection is I can't do it because something outside of my control is preventing me. So like I don't live in a big city, or I don't have a marketing budget, or something like that. Internal would be something like I'm not good at talking. I'm not good at small talk, or I'm not good at sales. That's internal. There's something wrong with me. You get it?
Yeah. So number 3, like the external, you think it would be more so related to the money, like the advertising budget, you think would be better?
No, it's directly, it's related to what external problem they have that's preventing them from using your method. So if you did all of this stuff that I said correctly, that should all be wrapped up into secret number 1. Okay. So when you talk about secret number 1, are you saying build a funnel? Like I still don't understand how you're explaining the vehicle. What is the vehicle in one sentence?
So I break down multiple concepts in the first secret, which
Right there. That's the problem. Right there's the problem. You cannot do that. One concept. One. You cannot do multiple concepts. Only one concept. Because look, if you break down multiple concepts, now you're creating multiple internal and external objections, and you're only recovering one.
yeah,
They're leaving with a ton of objections. You cover one, bro. One.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Bro,
Yeah.
I mean, you could like, if you want to make it real. All right. Look, this is not my greatest work, but if you're a life insurance agent, you're sick and tired of talking to your friends and doing cold calling, I'm going to show you on this presentation how to get more leads, more sales, as much as you could possibly want without ever bugging your friends and family, because you're never even going to talk to them. Okay. And I call this method reverse marketing. Okay. So here's what happens. Most life insurance agents, they will go out and they will cold call, or even if they ran some type of marketing ads, they will run ads directly to their service. Here's what I'm telling you. Do not ever market your life insurance services. Instead, do it in reverse. You know, story time. You know, it's funny. One time I bought a house from a realtor, and he got me the house, and then there was a bunch of problems that happened with the house, and he helped me with them. He helped me find contractors. He connected me. Because of that, I trusted him. And the next time I went to buy a house, I bought it from him. Not because he was a better or worse realtor, but because I trusted him. He helped me with several things. You see, people buy from people they trust. So if you can just engineer trust, you can engineer commissions. And so what we're going to do in the reverse funnel is we're going to run ads, but instead of solving their problems with life insurance, we're going to solve other problems they have, build trust, and then solve the problem of life insurance. So we gain trust by solving a problem for free, and then it's much easier to sell them life insurance. But the trick is, how do we find problems that people have and know for certain that they also need life insurance? Well, let's take a look. So now everything I do now is simply explaining why reverse funnels work or reverse marketing works. All the stories, all the analogies, all the examples all go back to solve other problems first, life insurance second. It all goes back to that. Then, okay, secret number. I don't do the 3 secrets thing, but I used to. It's good, but I do it a little bit differently now. So what are the internal objections to this? Is I'm not technically savvy. I'm
Yeah. I'm not good with technology, and I don't know how to market.
Right. Great. So I'm not good. So why you don't need, do you have to use a funnel, or can you use lead ads? Use a funnel, right?
Yeah, I use a funnel so that like they don't just become a lead, but they schedule themselves on your calendar. So that's why I use a funnel.
Yeah. So the great part about this is you don't have to, I mean, there's a lot of ways to explain this, but you could say something like this is where you can kind of pitch a little bit. You can be like, listen, and this is where I train people to be my customers, right? I said, let me ask you a question. What if you could go to the gym for one day, just one day, and that one workout would give you the best body you've ever had, your dream body, and you'd never have to work out again? Would you go and work out that day? Yes, you would, right? Now, how many of you here, like, you don't work out, or you're like, ugh, I don't want to go to the gym, right? Okay. But if that one day you could go and work out, that one day, and you could get exactly the body you wanted, just one workout, would you go? And everybody's going to be like, yes, 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 yes. And then I go, okay, now what if that workout was the hardest workout of your life? What if it was like extremely grueling to the point where you wanted to throw up, but you only had to do it one day? Would you do it? Yes, you would. Right. Okay. Well, what if I told you that if you take just one day to set this up, one day to do tech, even if it's frustrating, you'll never have to touch it again and it'll just run on autopilot and get you clients. Would you do it?
Hmm.
See,
That's good.
so you got them, you got them to agree. It's agreement analogies. You got them to agree to the gym thing, and then you
Yeah.
associated that with the set. But listen, if you say till the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you how you don't even have to do that. Because one thing we do for our clients is we set this up for them. We do the workout for you, but we'll get to that. Okay, so that's okay. So what's the external objection now?
The way I was viewing it is how to get people traffic to their funnel. Like I thought that was the external objection.
Okay, but what is the but articulate that for me.
How to get their dream customers to find them.
Well, that sounds more like secret number one. Like why you don't need, like you got to have some external objection. Like if you're doing the Russell script, okay. But anyway, we could go on this for hours and hours and hours, which is what you got to do to write a great webinar. But even with that, like I'm gonna say this right now. If I sat down and we worked on it, it would be much better than what I just came up with. This was off the top of my head. But even that, like the reverse marketing or whatever, it's still probably a lot better than what you got going on. That'll probably raise it from, I'd say, 2 to at least 5%. Because 2% is low, bro. That's low. Even if it raised it to 4%. Like if you can get this to 4%, think about this, right?
I'll be double.
You get it to you're right. So now
No income
if
claim.
yeah, so like, yeah, exactly. So if you were to do 216 residents, so now you got 216 times, so you'd be doubling your money, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, so 216 times, so you'd make you would make 6,000 per webinar, right? Did I do the math right on that? Well, let's put it this way: if this went from 2 sales, so
No,
your
more,
break even,
more
well,
than
if you break
6,000.
even at 6 and you make another 2 sales,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
another
It'll be
6. So
6,000 in
you went
profit.
from, right, it'd be 6,000 in profit. You'd make 12,000, 6,000 in profit. And then I promise you, if the whole big idea and the framing's better, this will go down. Because if your webinar script is confusing, your front end funnel is confusing. So now this will go down. You get what I'm saying?
So profit will be even better.
Yeah. What's the title of your webinar?
How to attract life insurance clients who book themselves on your calendar without cold calling, buying leads, or sending to friends and family.
Do you know what your landing page converts at?
Not so good. It was good, but then it went down. I don't know why. Like 19%.
Yeah, I would have like how this new weird marketing strategy is bringing in a flood of leads for life insurance agents without ever having to do cold calling, talk to their family or whatever, right? Like you got to like it's new, it's weird, it's backwards, it's unconventional. Otherwise it just sounds kind of like boring. Like, you know, so there's an old copywriting method called CUB, and it's your copy cannot be confusing, unbelievable, or boring, meaning it can't be too complex, so you're already violating that rule. It can't be unbelievable, meaning, oh, how to lose 10 pounds in 5 hours. I don't think you're violating that rule. But it can't be boring. It's a little boring. So you're violating 2 of the rules. Your offer is not going to smash if you're violating even one of the rules. So if you can make it exciting and interesting, not boring, I think you're okay on the unbelievable, and you can make it simple and not confusing, it's going to convert better. It's already converting break even now. If you get it even marginally better, bro, it's going to print money. And then of course it's going to do even more money because the cost per lead is going to go down for sure. And then you're going to get more testimonials. You're going to get more results, which means, like, I'll give you an example. Biggest hack for retargeting ads is give your clients awards. Like ship them awards in the mail. So we just did this. Okay. Oh, actually, I'll show you something. You want a real, then we'll end the live. Okay. So
Yeah, I was talking to my to a cousin that helps me with these webinars. He came up with this idea also for the awards.
yeah, you got to do
Santiago.
awards and stuff. Where's the box with the VIP box? It's downstairs in my office. Yeah. Shy. You know those VIP boxes we just got in? Can you bring me one? All right, I'm gonna show you something. And then we'll
Then
end the
so
live.
where do you
Okay.
think this webinar should be like conversion rate wise? Like if it becomes a good webinar, what do you think it could be?
I think you can do.
Because I mean, 4% would already make it, I mean, profitable, right? Like decently profitable. But what do you think
It's
it
pretty.
could be?
I mean, it could be 7.
7? Do you think that's like
That's
the
probably
top?
yeah. Um, without doing any of the really fancy stuff, I think that's the top. Yeah,
And what about with
on
doing
cold
all the
traffic.
fancy stuff on cold traffic?
Well, then it's going to be higher. But look, thank you, baby. So check this out. So this is one of the fancy stuff things, right? So this right here. So we have a webinar. It sells a 2K offer, and we run it auto, and it converts at, well, I think about 7% actually. Now it's an auto webinar. It runs daily, so it's going to convert less than like a live webinar. Okay, but I don't have to be there live, so I'm happy with it. When they buy, they get this. Okay, you want to show the overhead camera? So they get this VIP. This is like a bonus they get with the program. Now, when they get the box, we ship this actually in the mail. When they get the box, they open it up and they get this welcome message for me. And the welcome message tells them, and by the way, it's also on the bottom. Check this out. Attention, we give them something. So they get a software with our offer, but we say, want an extra 3 months of Artimo Pro? Grab your phone before opening and film an unboxing video and send it to us. So what happens is they get it, they open it up, and of course it's, it's like it's a personal brand program. So they get the personal brand storytelling playbook, they get the Who workbook, 100 questions to discover what makes you valuable to others. They get the 20-minute sale, which is like a DM selling strategy. They get the authority carousel system, which shows them how to do really awesome authority carousels. They get paid ads for lead magnets. And yeah, that's what they get, right? So they get all these cool books, okay? And when they get it, and like literally, we just started shipping these out. They took forever to freaking make, but literally within a week of getting these shipped out, we started getting videos in of people doing unboxing videos. Well, guess what those are? Those are retargeting ads for people that attended the webinar. And then goes to you see what I'm saying? Like I used to do that back in the day for that 997 one that did 9.2 million. Bro, I had t-shirts I sent out. I had awards. I had gift boxes, and Russell did the same thing. He's got all kinds of shit he sends out. Okay.
How much does that gift box cost to produce?
Let's see. I spent 22,000 on it, and I think we got, what did we get? 250. So 22,000 divided by 250. So $88.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's like maybe $5 to ship, I think. I don't know.
Wow.
But so you see my point, right?
Yeah.
$88 for every sale. And here's the other thing. Guess what happens when somebody buys your offer and you ship them something with a tracking number? Guess what happens if they charge back? Do you know what happens?
You have proof that
You send the credit card company the tracking number, it shows delivered, and you win the chargeback.
Smart.
There's a lot of advantages to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I just wanted to nerd out
course.
on this. I'll be honest with you, bro. We could probably come up with something way better than what I came up with off the top of my head. But
How do we do that?
go to getclients.com and apply. You'll talk to Ben. And then if you want to move forward, my team can write a webinar for you. But the reason why it would be good is because instead of just having this half-assed conversation on Zoom, we go through like a whole thing where we fully understand, like, I mean, multiple questions. We like most of our work is understanding your stuff. And then it's easy to write it, you know, but the interview process is the biggest part. But the way we do it is we send you a list of questions. You record a Loom answering it, and then you just send us the Loom. It has a transcript. And then if we need anything additional, we do that. That way it's not, you don't have to wait to have a call and all that. Like we can just keep going, move forward. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
I mean,
the-
again,
the
if you're
milestones.
interested, if you're not, just do what I said and try to get as close to it as possible. But if you do want to work with us, we would dive into it, you know, a lot more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stan. I
Cool,
really
bro.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for coming on. Yeah, no
thanks for
problem.
the advice.
Appreciate it.
This was amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. One more time, I'm doing a live premium. This is a paid event. It's not expensive. It's the $1 Million Webinar Workshop. There's a link in the description where you can find it. If you happen to be watching this on Instagram, just comment webinar, and because we're using Restream to go live, you'll get information on a ticket. And when you come to that, I'm going to go deep on these things, and I'm going to show you how to really just crush it with webinars. But as you can see, the script is the most important part. You have a baller script, you're going to have baller income. Okay. I'll leave you with this. Mind Valley went through multiple, like dozens and dozens and dozens of versions of a 45-minute VSL to land on the winner. And that winner made them $200 million on a $200 product with cold traffic. Ad, like the native ad, was basically the webinar, the presentation, and went right to the order page. Okay. So you're not trying to make most of you here are not trying to make $200 million on cold traffic, but it just goes to show you that you really need a good script, and the script is the business. And there's a process to figuring out that unique mechanism, that big idea, those elements that make webinars so good. And I'm going to go over the 5 things you need to know on this workshop. So just check the link in the description if you want to attend. We're going to go a lot deeper. I'll take questions. I'll do some coaching. It's going to be an amazing time. Thank you guys all. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next stream. Nope.